Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered, three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Greg Unchained. Today's Friday, so you know what that means. It is Aussie Grapps Day here at the B Plus. It's the day that we like to have a look at what's been going on in the world of Australian pro wrestling. We take a look at what's happening this weekend, and I like to throw in an interview with a local talent. This week, I will be talking to Tarlee, who makes her Hunter Valley Wrestling return and her return to Australian wrestling after a little stint over in America to train with the Black and the Brave. So we're going to talk to her about that later on. But first, let's take a look at everything that's gone on in the world of Australian wrestling this week. World Series Wrestling continue to make announcements as we head towards the November International Assault the Elite Takeover Tour. This week we have had some more Australian announcements. So of course the great thing about World Series Wrestling is they do bring over some fantastic international talent. We're not talking about talent from the Attitude Era, we're not talking about holdovers, we're talking about the best in the world right now. People like Austin Aries, Brian Cage, Flip Gordon, Marty Skrull, Joey Janela are all announced for this tour in November, as well as, of course, Cody and Brandy Rhodes. And they also like to feature Australian talent. That's why we talk about them here on the Aussie Grapps episodes of the B+. They're probably our favourite Australian promotion in the terms that they are an Australia-wide promotion. They tour the entire country. They're skipping Adelaide this time. Doesn't make me very happy, and they're skipping Brisbane, but we'll forgive them because they do bring over fantastic international talent to work with our guys. It's a great experience for our talent as well. And previously announced for Australian talent, they had Adam Brooks, Jonah Rock, Robbie Eagles, and this week we got the announcement, the Concrete Dongs, that is Concrete Davidson and Joey Ryan, so one half Australian, one half international. It's the best thing about World Series Wrestling is the worlds colliding. The Concrete Dongs are returning. You would hope they would, because they are the current World Series Wrestling Tag Team Champions. I'm really hoping for a full Australian team to take the titles off them. Come on, Pereira. I want a Pereira announcement. I want the Pereira versus the Concrete Dongs, because the Pereira really impressed me on the last tour. But joining the Concrete Dongs as well, this week we had the announcement that Robbie Eagles is back, and Robbie Eagles immediately took to Twitter to call out Austin Aries. At the end of the last tour, we have an episode breaking it down. I'll drop a link in the show notes if you want to listen to our breakdown of the last tour. At the end of the last tour at the Sydney show, Robbie Eagles pinned Austin Aries 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, clean as it can be. If anyone has a claim to challenge for the World Series Wrestling Championship against Austin Aries, it is our very own Robbie Eagles, and he's called him out. He also added on, if the X Division champion Brian Cage wants to get involved as well, he can. But hopefully Robbie Eagles gets his shot. Hopefully Robbie Eagles will become the first Australian World Series Wrestling champion. I would really love to see that happen. If it happens in Sydney, I don't really care where it happens, as long as it happens on this tour. I'm really excited for it. Also announced, the impressive one, Indy Hartwell. This marks her 4th time with World Series Wrestling. She's wrestled shows, obviously, in Melbourne, where she is from, and in New South Wales, I think, as well, on one of the other tours. So Indy Hartwell is returning. It's not clear whether these announcements are for the full tour or it's just these are some of the local talents, but I hope this is for the full tour. I would love to see Indy be able to go all across the country with World Series Wrestling. It's looking like a really, really strong tour, as it always is. You can get your tickets now at worldserieswrestling.com. There's only a few left for some of the shows. Perth need to pick up their game. They're only at 45% sold. Come on, Perth, I know you're listening. Let's get our tickets to World Series Wrestling because it's going to feature some fantastic talent. And I'm pretty sure that some of your local guys will be on the show as well, so get down to support a local grappler. Melbourne City Wrestling have made some announcements this week for Melbourne City Wrestling 100. It's a big show happening next week. Obviously the 100th show for Melbourne City Wrestling, headlined by none other than Tetsuya Naito, fresh off the G1. He's still in contention in the G1. I thought at this stage that he would not be. I thought it was going to come down to Omega and Ibushi in the B block, but Naito is still in contention, so we could potentially see a back-to-back G1 winner at MCW 100 at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. How exciting is that? And Tetsuya Naito will be taking on Jonah Rock at that show. But that's not what they announced this week. This week we're talking about Funtime Phil. Funtime Phil has an open challenge that he likes to hold at Melbourne City Wrestling shows. In the past, it's seen him take on guys like Stevie Phillip, Alan Payne, Jake Lindo, and of course Jimmy Havoc, among others. So you never know who you're going to get. It's a real mixed bag, and at a big show like MCW 100, who knows who it's going to be. Of course, Funtime Phil did not have a challenge on MCW 99 because he was out on a date with Avery, which you can check out on Facebook. We will drop a link in the show notes, as we are known to do, so you can have a look at that one. It's a really fun watch. And yeah, Funtime Phil, Open Challenge returns. I'm really curious to see who it's going to be. I have no idea, and I'm looking forward to watching that when it hits Encore on demand. We've also seen the announcement of TD versus Lockie Hendricks. Now, this is quite a personal feud. They used to be friends. They used to be partners. But the last we saw of TD, he was left laying in his own driveway after an attack from Lockie Hendricks and Miami. TD fired back at MCW 99. We saw as Anna Ashley attempted to interview Lockie Hendricks after his loss to Will Ospreay. He suffered a backstage attack at the hands of TD. Now the match has been signed, TD vs. Lockie Hendricks at MCW 100. Robbie Eagles returns to MCW. Could he answer the Funtime Open Challenge? Only way to know is to get down and be there. And the big one this week, it has been announced that the Defiant Women's Championship will be on the line when Bea Priestley defends against the impressive one, Indy Hartwell and Avery. That is going to be a fantastic match. Indy Hartwell and Avery are two of the best female talents Australia has to offer. Bea Priestley obviously is Bea Priestley, so make sure you get down to Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre on the 18th of August to check out that one. Tickets are available now through Ticket Booth, so make sure you get your tickets and get them down. It's going to be one hell of a show. Also in Melbourne City Wrestling news, if you're a subscriber to Melbourne City Wrestling Encore On Demand, whether that be on Vimeo or Pivot Share, good news this week, the entire Wrestlerock back catalogue is now available. That's every Wrestlerock show ever, right up to the most recent one, which saw Funtime Phil being crowned as the new Wrestlerock champion. If you fall sick to the illness that got me this week and end up in bed for 3 days, nothing better to kill the time than watching some old Wrestlerock shows. Really entertaining stuff down there in Melbourne. Melbourne has had some fantastic wrestling for years, and it's definitely worth checking out. Also this week, IWA announced Mick Moretti vs. SUPLEX for the first time ever. That's going to be an amazing match. They are two of the greatest talents to come out of Australia in history, I would say. Mick Moretti is just one of the greatest character wrestlers I have ever seen perform live. SUPLEX is the business. Nothing more to say about it. He is the business. These two have never met one-on-one, and they are going to meet one-on-one at IWA Fighting Spirit III, State of Origin. That's IWA versus MCW. Going to be some fantastic matches. Of course, previously announced was the Kelly Gang taking on JXT and the Brat Pack. That's going to be a really good match as well. I'm really curious to see what other matches they have in store for us, but Mick Moretti vs. SUPLEX. Wow. Looking forward to that one. Iron Fist Pro made some more announcements this week as well, so the Darkest Soul, Robbie Hart, who is of course an Adelaide wrestling veteran, will be joining the Iron Fist show on September 28th at the Published Art House in Adelaide. Robbie Hart has spent some time in Japan, which Makes perfect sense for Iron Fist Pro. They're very heavily Japanese influenced, and they call themselves Strong Style, so it's going to be Adelaide's very own Strong Style promotion. Looks kind of similar to what Will Ospreay did with Frontline Puro over in the UK. We're getting Jonah Rock versus Hideki Suzuki in the main event. Also added to the card this week, the Loose Ledge Adam Brooks will be taking on AJ Istria. Definitely one to check out if you're in Adelaide. That's on September 28th, though we'll bring you more news as it becomes available. Last weekend, we saw Suplex crown their first heavyweight champion when Scotty Haim defeated Jackson Cross and Dean Draven in a triple threat match to close out the tournament. It was also announced that night that Chapter 3, their next show, will see a junior heavyweight champion crowned in a Rumble match open to any junior heavyweight in the country. So if you're listening to this and you're a junior heavyweight, contact Suplex because they've got an open challenge for their Rumble match. Any junior heavyweight in the country could go in and could walk out the first ever Suplex Junior Heavyweight Champion. Good stuff coming out of Suplex Pro Wrestling up in Sydney. Over in New Zealand, SPW Chronicles has actually been chosen for a UK wrestling film festival. It's called the Burning Hammer Film Festival. I will drop a link in the show notes. It looks really interesting, really exciting. It's going to feature the debut of the This Is Progress documentary in the UK, as well as many other documentaries and shorts based on professional wrestling. It's the first ever European film festival dedicated entirely to works about professional wrestling. SPW's Chronicles is kind of a behind-the-scenes look at SPW wrestling in New Zealand. They call it Wrestling on the Edge of the World. I can't do a Kiwi accent. That was absolutely terrible, and I apologize. But they call it Wrestling on the Edge of the World, and it's definitely worth a look. If you haven't heard of SPW, that Chronicles series is a really good way. It's similar to the 10 Pounds of Gold or All Us, or it's not really like Being the Elite. Being the Elite is more story-driven. This is more real, like 10 Pounds of Gold. It's a real look at them building this company, and it's fantastic, and I'm glad it's been chosen for the Burning Hammer Film Festival. It's definitely something you should be checking out. A little more locally for me, we've covered the story before with Adelaide Championship Wrestling Riley, who I've had on the show previously. I'll link to that interview below. She has challenged Blake Mitchell this week. It's not the first time she's challenged Blake Mitchell. Blake Mitchell walked out on her championship celebration at ACW Evolve 15. He also walked out on her match. He had some comments to say on social media and some comments to say on his podcast. He's not a fan of women's wrestling in general. We've heard that on his podcast before. And he's really not a fan of intergender wrestling. So I'm just going to play a quick little clip from the Horse Shit podcast so we can have a quick listen to what Blake the Man Mitchell had to say.
I'm working currently for ACW, Adelaide Championship Wrestling, and there was... Now, what's going on over there is a female wrestler is promoting this intergender shit. ACW is promoting this intergender wrestling, which I've been against from day one. I am actually ashamed to be on a show with an intergender championship. So I'm going to straight shoot with you, and Riley is not a pimple on my ass. She doesn't deserve to be in the same ring as me or any other male that's in the business. So it is what it is. As far as me getting in the ring this Saturday and wrestling you, Riley, you haven't got a chance in hell, sweetheart. You go back to wrestling the other morons that are happy to job and bump like fucking Gumby all you like, but I will accept the opportunity to stand in the middle of the ring in ACW this Saturday night and explain why I walked out on your celebration as the champion and why I walked out on your match defending it against a guy in the main event. I will be there, but you don't deserve to be in the same ring as me. I've been 17 years in this business, wrestled the biggest, the baddest, and best in the business, had my ass kicked by everybody, learnt and paid my dues. Screw you if you think you deserve to be in the ring with me. So
there it is. I will link to the Horseshit podcast below where you can listen to the full 2.5 minute rant that he has with relating to this situation. He is going to show up, it sounds like, but he refuses to have a match. So definitely an interesting... I don't know where the shoot ends and the work begins with this one. I know that he's not a fan of women's wrestling, so it makes sense that he wouldn't be a fan of intergender wrestling. But he's going to get in the ring, so I have no idea where this is going, and I'm really excited for the show on Saturday. Last thing to talk about before I cut to the interview with Tarlee, New Valhalla Wrestling have announced their first Valkyrie. Now, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. New Valhalla Wrestling posted on their social medias basically a tribute to the Valkyries. The Valkyries being the women of Norse myth who would carry the slain warriors to the land of the dead. to Valhalla. So I speculated at that time that they were going to be introducing a women's division, because if you're going to honor the Valkyries, it seems to me that you would have a women's division. They called for the women of Midgard to prepare for battle, so it just made sense to me that it looks like a women's division is coming to New Valhalla Wrestling, perhaps for the second show, Hammerfall, which is to take place in September. This week we got the announcement of the first Valkyrie. It's Kelly Ann. A fantastic announcement for a first signing. Kelly Ann is a veteran of Australian Pro Wrestling. She's been doing this for about 10 years now, and really excited to see her make her way up to Queensland again to tie it up in New Valhalla. I really like the theme going on in New Valhalla. It's very Viking themed, very mythology themed, and that's right up my alley. I'm really keen to see the shows when they become available online. And it's really exciting to see that they're getting into the women's wrestling game. Australia has some of the best women's wrestling. Now, after I reported this, so I saw this come across my timeline, I reported it to the bplus.com, as I do, and I received an email not long after my post went live from, it was a weird email account. It was just a bunch of numbers and letters. It was like a random string of numbers and letters. And it had an audio clip, which it took a while for me to clean the audio clip up, but I've cleaned the audio clip up. It sounds like a recording of a phone call. I'm not sure. It sounds like the recording of a phone call with one side of the audio taken out. It was kind of messy. I've cleaned it up a little. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. Okay. I'll come wrestle for New Valhalla Wrestling. I've always wanted to wrestle in Queensland. I'm looking forward to it. But only if I can get my hands on Kellyanne.
So, like I said, I had to clean up the audio a little bit, and I'm not 100% sure, but to me, that sounds like the voice of one Indy Hartwell. Like I said, it sounds like a phone call. The other side has been erased, so I'm not sure who she's talking to, but I'll let you know more as I know more. But that's all I've got at the moment. I guess we should be paying attention to New Valhalla Wrestling, because someone wants to get their hands on Kellyanne. And that does it for this week in Australian wrestling news. Now let's check out the interview I did earlier this week with Tarlee returning from the States, and then I'll hit you after the interview with all the shows coming up this weekend in your area. Okay, I am joined at this time by one of my favourite humans in Australian professional wrestling, Tarlee. How are you, Tarlee?
Oh, that was so sweet. I'm really good. How are you?
I am good. You are your Hunter Valley Wrestling Women's Champion.
I am indeed, and I will be defending that championship this weekend at Hunter Valley, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's get into that soon. But first, I got to ask you, you've just come back home. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's been like a week, and it feels a lot longer than that already.
Yeah, you're missing the States already? I
am. Like, when I was in the States, I was like, oh, like, I just want to go home. But now that I'm home, I'm like, I just want to go back to the States.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like I would miss Vegemite.
Oh,
I know that's, like, so stereotypical and obvious, but...
No, man, like, I had my mum send me a care package, an Australian care package while I was over there, and it had, like, Milo, Vegemite, Tim Tams, like, all the good stuff. I was so happy.
Wait, they don't have Tim Tams?
They don't have, like, the basic Tim Tams. You know how, like, Tim Tams recently brought out, like, all those really fancy ones? Like,
yeah, like all the Rocky Road and the Cherry Blast and yeah.
Yeah, they have all those, but they don't have just, like, a basic, like, chocolate Tim Tam.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I just missed a chocolate Tim Tam.
Yeah, I would too, to be honest with you, because they're always like at Woolworths. They're always like, $2, and them and the mint slices, and
yeah.
I,
You never realize how good like Australian food is until like it's not there anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't know though. How is cereal though? Choosing cereal in America, it's like a whole life decision.
There's like a whole aisle just dedicated to cereal. And I tried. What did I end up trying? I tried Lucky Charms, and because that's like the big one, and I was actually very disappointed by Lucky Charms. I'm sorry, but they're not great.
No, I've heard that from a lot of people, and Captain Crunch as well. People get excited to try Captain Crunch, and then they're like, "That was kind of terrible."
Yeah, like the best one I tried was probably Fruity Pebbles. That one was good. That was just sugar, but it was good. So,
Fruity Pebbles, is that like Fruit Loops or
it's pretty
but
much
like Rice Bubbles?
It's pretty much Fruit Loops, but like cornflake shaped.
Okay,
Best way I can describe it, but everything's just sugary over there. But like,
Yeah, everything's sugary and supersized from what I gather.
Yeah. Like I went and ordered just like a small drink, and they gave me like a large, and I was like, this isn't what I asked for, but all right.
Yeah, so take some time getting used to that.
Yeah.
How long were you over there for?
So I was over there for 3 months. I left at the start of May and got back at the end of July.
Right, and so you went over to train, obviously, at Black and Brave Academy.
I did, yes.
Very excited. I know that you're such a Seth Rollins fangirl, so...
Well, yeah.
Should I not mention that? This is where you're Tarlee the wrestler, so I should probably...
Well, no, I think everyone that goes to Black and Brave goes there because it's Seth Rollins wrestling school. Like, we're all going there for the same reason. So yeah, like I love Seth Rollins, and getting to know him on like a personal level was a very, very cool experience.
And how was the training?
It was very, very intense, both on like a physical and mental place. I can't give too much details about it, because like confidentiality of their training school and whatnot.
Of course, yeah.
But no, it's very, very, very demanding. There were many times where like I would call up my partner after a training session or something, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, it's very demanding, but it's also very rewarding. Once you've like completed it, you're like, damn, like I didn't think I could do it, but I did. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a real sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have to do like all the CrossFit stuff? Because I know he's a big CrossFit guy.
Yeah, we did. So pretty much like we trained 3 times a week. We'd go, and when we rocked up, we'd have to do an opening workout, and then we'd do like wrestling training for about 3 hours, and then we'd have to do a closing workout. So we'd have to work out twice in one day on top of wrestling training. And that was like 3 times a week. And then we also had to do like 3 CrossFit sessions a week as well. So it was very physically demanding.
So you'll come back in the best shape of your life then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, like I was saying to people, I'm like, if I don't come back to Australia like ripped as hell from this, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, no, I actually spoke to Jackson Kelly, who was the first international graduate. People haven't heard that interview yet. That interview is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, but okay. I already sat down and spoke to him, and he was saying that it was very intense.
Yeah. Like I thought I was a pretty fit person before I went, and then like within the first week, I just realized how wrong I was.
Yeah. That's me every day. I feel like that. Every day I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym today. I'm pretty fit. I can't do this.
Yeah. You're
like 10 minutes into the workout. Yeah. 10 minutes in, I'm like, I can't do this. Yeah. You know me. So,
well, I've been watching it on all of your progress photos, and I'm very proud of you. You're doing so well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got a bit. I let myself go a little. Obviously, like.
Oh, but you're a dad
sounds
now,
weird.
like.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a dad, right? So it's weird. Like you have the kids, and I didn't even have the kids. Like it wasn't me doing any of this stuff. But you do. You withdraw a little, and you let yourself go. But I'm back at it, and I'm back training again.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, like you wrestling training? Or.
Yeah, I'm wrestling training again. Yeah, down at ACW.
Oh damn! You go, guy.
Yeah. So I've only had one session, and. Training's meant to be tonight, but I'm feeling really sick, so I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't want to infect everybody. But
That's fair.
But yeah, no, it's been really fun, and just I guess a big part of it was seeing all of you guys, because obviously I started in the same group with you, Jason, who I spoke to just last week as well, and Keegan.
Yeah.
And Keegsy's over there just tearing it up on the actual like American indies.
God, it's crazy.
And, yeah, and then I see you training at Black and Brave, and you guys are holding titles and stuff, and I'm like, man, I felt like I was good, but I just kind of, when the kids came along, just had to stop for financial reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so I'm really proud of you guys, just seeing you tear it up.
Oh, thank you. Like I'm proud of everyone. Like I always stop and think, like with Keegan and Jason, I'm like the same that you just said. Like we all started together. And just to see how much everyone's grown and changed over the years, just like to take a moment to step back and like, damn, like I'm proud of everyone. We all did it. Like,
yeah, and like 5-Star Flash had a match against the Hurricane.
Yeah, damn.
A couple weeks ago, like just the whole Australian pro wrestling gym crew. Everyone's just doing fantastic work. So
yeah, like even APWG itself has like grown so much as well since we were there. Like
and they're putting on shows at like Bondi and stuff. Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's just generally an exciting time to be an Australian wrestling fan.
Yeah, definitely. You're never short of wrestling entertainment anymore. Like, there's always...
No, there's so many shows. Like, even compared to when we first started training, there was like 2 shows a month kind of thing. Like, you'd have AWF around and you'd have PWA.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it, unless you wanted to drive to Newcastle and stuff. But,
Yeah.
But now you got CWA, FWA. There's just so many just popping up all the time. And yeah, lots of opportunities. Like Suplex had their second show.
Yep. That was like
just this weekend. Yeah. So it's really, really exciting. I think New South Wales is popping off. You know, Melbourne obviously is insane.
Melbourne's just crazy. Like, Melbourne's amazing.
They have like 3 shows a week sometimes.
Sometimes I'm like, didn't you guys just have a show? Like,
yeah. Well, when you were over in the States, did you get to take any bookings?
No, we actually weren't allowed to from our coaches. What they were saying was because we were training with them, we pretty much all, like, I wasn't the only one there that had previous wrestling experience. So you had me, people with other previous wrestling experience, people that had never wrestled before, like, at all. Some people that had only been training for like 3 months. When we all went there, we all pretty much were just starting from scratch again. So we were all on the same level, and they all just treated us like we're all the same. And so they were like, yeah, you guys can't take bookings because we want to make sure that you guys are like the best that you can be, because you're going to be out there representing our name now. You guys are representing Seth Rollins and you're representing the Black and Brave. So we want to make sure that you guys, when you do represent us, you're going to be the best wrestlers. So there, we weren't allowed to take bookings whilst we were training, but if we stayed there past graduation, then yeah, we were allowed to go out and do what we wanted. But I obviously came back home.
Yeah, so you had bookings waiting for you at home though.
Yeah. So I had plenty waiting for me. It was like the first month was really hard, like training there, because I just got like, even though I was training 3 times a week, I just got like massive wrestling withdrawals. I was like, I just want to wrestle. Like, I just want to have a match again. Like, damn.
Right, because like you're training, but nothing's the same as being in front of like a crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I know you came from more of a performing arts background as well.
Yeah, I was like an actor, a singer, a dancer. Well, not a very good dancer, but acting, singing, dancing. I was always performing.
You would think dancing would be higher on the list because it's all footwork and stuff, right? So is wrestling.
No.
No, never paid attention to that part. But how do you think that? Because you went to a performing arts high school or whatever.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I did. I went there for acting. So yeah, always been performing.
Right, and so that's transition. That's helped you transition into the world of wrestling.
It has, yeah. Like I made a really good friend over in America, Natalia, but she'd pretty much never performed at all. The main thing that I kept telling her, like with helping her with wrestling, I'm like, it's just performing, like it's just acting. Yeah, so like the whole acting stuff I did helped out a lot with wrestling, and now hopefully like I can help other people with that too. So
yeah, because there's different ways to come at it. So when I was talking to Jackson, he came at it from a more athletic background, right? Because he was a football player previously.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that makes wrestling so fantastic is it brings people from all different experiences and walks of life together.
Yeah, and obviously he came from like a more football background, so he's going to be naturally gifted in the athletic side of it, whereas if I came from like an acting background, I'd be more gifted in like the promo side of it. So everyone's good at their own thing, and we can all develop that into our own character.
Yeah, right. And as well, a matter of like when you go into training and when you go into like a wrestling school or whatever, you get these people from these different backgrounds and you all sort of add. That's what I found when we were training was you all have something to add to the group. Yeah. And so everyone can get better together at the different parts and everyone kind of has a role to play. Wrestling's a real, like it's really a team thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like you're not going to be able to make it in this business if you don't have people supporting you and if you're not supporting other people. Like it's very team based.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And so you're back now and you've got some matches this coming weekend at Hunter Valley Wrestling.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that?
So it's my first show back in Australia, my first Hunter Valley show back. I am going to be working against Izzy Shaw from Adelaide. I haven't actually wrestled with her before. I think I've been in a tag team match with her, but we were on the same team. And that was at Riot City. But yeah, this is the first time that I've actually get to work with her one-on-one. So I'm very, very excited to do this.
I'm still mad at you about that, by the way.
Because I didn't come to see you.
Yeah, you came down to, you took a booking at Riot City, and I didn't find out until like 3 days after the show. And I was like, wait, Tarlee was at Riot City and I didn't get out to the show that weekend. And yeah, I was very mad. I'm still mad.
I'm
still
sorry.
mad.
I'm sorry. Hopefully I'll be there again soon, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, if anyone from Riot City is listening, book Tarlee.
Yeah, book me, guys. I'll take on your champion. I'll take Indy.
Indy's doing so. She's like our own belt collector.
Our version of Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got what? She's got 3 at the moment, I think.
Yeah, she's got 3, and it's crazy because she's like so young as well, and she's like still kind of like new to it, and like, damn it, Indy.
So as a women's wrestling champion in Australia, do you feel like you have a target on your back? Like she's gunning for all the belts.
I
man.
know, 100%. Well, as a champion, you always have a target on your back, you know, like and if she's just out there and she wants to be collecting the belts and she thinks she can take on the Hunter Valley Wrestling Women's Champion, then I dare her to try.
Oh, there's a challenge.
Yeah.
I hear a challenge there for impressive Indy Hartwell. That's a match I'd like to see. Now, what else have you got coming up other than Izzy this weekend at Hunter Valley?
I actually got a booking for a new company. Well, not a new company. A company I'm going to be debuting for is UPW in the Gold Coast.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
New markets.
Yeah, exactly. And like, like I love going to new companies and just like figuring out the new crowd and meeting new people and all of that stuff. So that's going to be super exciting. And then in September, I'm going to be heading back to FWA. I haven't been there for a while, so that's exciting. Obviously, like a lot of people from FWA are like APWG crew and like our friends and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it'd be lovely to see them again.
Especially after so long over in the States. I imagine that would be the hardest thing, right? Missing not just like, I mean, your real family and your friends and stuff, but then the wrestling family that you have over here too.
It's really hard. But like a lot of people like were sending me messages and like catching up with me and keeping me up to date with what was happening here. So that was nice. I felt like I was gone, but I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you back. And really, really excited for all the things you've got coming up. We'll definitely be paying close attention.
Thank you very much.
To
I can
Tarlee.
guarantee you that Tarlee is going to be making a big name for herself soon.
I like to do 5 rapid fire questions.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so dream match.
Rhea Ripley.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, 100%.
She's my pick to win the Mae Young Classic.
Oh, if she wins it, I'm going to be so happy. But like, before she got signed, I was actually begging like every promoter. I'm like, I just want to wrestle Demi. Can I just please someone book her? And then I know that Hunter Valley were going to, and then she got signed.
Of course she did.
I was like, God damn it.
Of course she did. Yeah.
Of course she did. She's always going to be.
Let's just hope that doesn't happen with Indy though.
Oh no, Indy.
Because there's a lot of eyes on Indy too. So all right. Second question. Yeah. Favorite person you have wrestled?
Oh God. I know this is rapid fire, but I need to think about everything. Kellyanne. Yeah, like Kelly, every time I wrestle Kellyanne, like I learn just so much. Like she's just got so much wisdom and yeah, she just helps me out so much. So Kellyanne.
Fantastic. Yeah, she's been doing it for a while now. She's done 10 years, so always good to get in there with a veteran.
Exactly.
Favorite place you've wrestled, like favorite venue or town?
Oh God, I know rapid fire, but God, I'm so bad at this. Hunter Valley. I have to say Hunter Valley. Like,
yeah, I assumed you would say Hunter Valley. It's kind of like your home.
I have to say Hunter Valley. Like the crowd know me, and the crowd are just so welcoming, and like obviously the people running it and the people at Hunter Valley are just lovely, and they're like my family. So definitely Hunter Valley.
All right, cool. So you know how Progress came over here and New Japan came over here, and they like co-promoted shows.
Yeah.
If you could bring one other promotion over here for a tour similar to that, who are you bringing over?
Am I allowed to say NXT?
No, WWE's excluded. They come over here anyway.
God damn it. Well, okay. Probably Shimmer.
Shimmer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I thought if you went with NXT, you could have gone Evolve, right? Because they have a lot of stuff too. But
Shimmer.
No, yeah, Shimmer's heaps good. I want to bring a Shimmer over here.
Yeah, just everyone's name that is on Shimmer is just like, they're big deals. So if Shimmer can come over here and like help promote Australian wrestling as well, and especially Australian female wrestling, that would be amazing.
Yeah, we need some more of that, because there's a lot of really talented lady wrestlers out there in our country, as evidenced by the fact that they're the ones getting picked up too. So
yeah.
All right, and last one, favorite flavor of protein shake?
Chocolate mint.
Chocolate mint, yes.
I love choc mint everything. So if choc mint is a protein shake, and I have a choc mint protein shake at the moment,
I have
then
one too.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Yeah. Everyone else has been giving me like the plain ones, like vanilla or chocolate.
No.
And
Vanilla
I'm
is-
like,
I hate vanilla.
I think the common reasoning I'm getting is that you can mix more stuff with it, which I understand that.
Yeah, but
But-
I'm not like into that like fancy stuff. Like I just have a protein shake. Like
Yeah, same. It's just powder and water for me. That's all I do.
Exactly.
So
I mix it, I scull it, and like I get it done.
Yeah.
But
choc mint is one of mine though. Choc mint, and you should try strawberry shortcake.
oh, I like usually EHP Labs just plain strawberry. But yeah, no, chocolate mint is the go-to.
Yeah, you can't be throwing out company names like that because I got sponsors, man. I got sponsors in the wings.
I take it back.
No, it's all good. All right. Well, how about you let people know where they can find you on all the social medias?
Yeah. So I recently just got Twitter again. I still don't 100% know how to use Twitter. I'm figuring it out. Twitter's very confusing. But you can find me on Twitter at Tarlee Wrestler. I'm on Facebook at Tarlee Wrestler as well. And on Instagram at Teenage Mutant Ninja Tarlee. So those are my three main places you can find me at and get in contact with me. And yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't understand any of the social medias. I'm such an old man.
Oh, no, it's just Twitter. Twitter, I don't understand. Like,
I think that's an Australian thing too.
like I don't know what. Yeah,
Like Australians just don't care
I'm
about
like,
Twitter.
what do I tweet? Like, what do I tweet? Like that I don't just put on Facebook. But I did put up my graduation photo from Black and Brave, and I have like 900 likes and like 30 something retweets. So I did something right with that one.
I feel like that's good. I don't know what numbers are good, but that sounds
it seems
good.
pretty good. I think it's mostly because Seth Rollins is in it, but I'm going to take credit for that one.
Absolutely. Credit should all go
Yes.
to you. All right, thanks so much for joining us, Tarlee.
No worry. Thanks for having me, man. It's been lovely catching up to you.
So there you have it, folks. Tarlee makes her return to Hunter Valley Wrestling this weekend, August 11th. She will be defending her championship against Izzy Shaw, but we'll get to that in the show previews. It also sounded like she's thrown out a bit of a challenge to Indy Hartwell on that one. Interesting. We have recurring themes on this show. Last week, everything was Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks was everywhere. This week, it seems with World Series Wrestling, with that mysterious phone call that I'm sure sounded impressive, and now talking to Tarlee, she's said that she would like to face Indy Hartwell as well, because Indy, of course, has become somewhat of a belt collector, and Tarlee has a belt. I guess she's taken the proactive approach and just throwing it out there. It seems like last week was the week of Adam Brooks, and this week is the week of Indy Hartwell, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at what's happening this weekend in your area. If you are in Victoria, on Friday, August the 10th, PCW 18 Plus Series takes place at Southeastern Entertainment Centre. Tickets are $20 online and $25 at the door. You can get those tickets at pcw.com.au. On August 11th, PCW take Geelong, with PCW Evolution at Geelong West Town Hall. Tickets start at $20. This show features a steel cage match for the PCW Ignition Championship between Edward Dusk and Jake Taylor. Also on the card are Stevie Phillip, The Pereira, Sid Parker, Indy Hartwell, and many more. Friends of the show, On the Turnbuckle, are actually going to be doing a live interactive podcast in the ring as pre-show entertainment, so make sure you get down early to check that out. I don't know how you guys do this stuff live. I would be terrified. But hey, maybe we'll get there one day. Maybe I can do a live show with you guys. Who knows? On the Turnbuckle, live at PCW Evolution. That should be nice and fun. Also, on Saturday, August the 11th, New Age Wrestling present King of the Cage at the NAW Arena in Albion. It's a weekend of cage matches down there in Victoria. Tickets start from $15 at the door. Show features Top Cat Technico, Xavier Black, Vixen, and Tyson Baxter facing off for the King of the Cage tournament finals. A War Games match, which sees Aiden Miller, Jet Ruka, Jake Wilder, Gore, and Taylor Rose team up against Kane Morozov, Gabriel Wolf, Richie Taylor, Paul Thornton, and Lozen. All this in addition to a steel cage grudge match between Jason Crusher Cole and Josh Redfield. In my home state, South Australia, on Friday, August the 10th, we have PWSA Friday Night Fights at the arena in Paraka. Tickets are $15 at the door. RCW 41 takes place this Saturday, August 11th, live at the RCW Academy in Hindmarsh. Tickets are $10. The main event for that one is a 10-man elimination match, and we've been promised a debut and a return. ACW Evolve 16 takes place on Saturday night as well at the ACW Arena in Prospect. I'll be there checking out the show, so come on down and say hi. Tickets start at $10. Matt Hayter vs Jesse Hendy, The Watcher, Isaac Bailey vs Gavin Stark, and we'll see another chapter written in the Jack Rossley and James Cruiser feud. So at Evolve 15, Rossley took Cruiser out using the exposed turnbuckle, which actually caused a concussion for Cruiser. Cruiser has selected Mason Creed as Rossley's opponent for Evolve 16. We also know that Riley, who featured on this show in the early days, has called out Blake the Man Mitchell after the disrespect that he showed walking out on her segments at Evolve 15. He's also since made disparaging comments on social media and on his own podcast, the Horseshit Podcast. Riley has repeatedly challenged Blake to come and face her, so we'll see if he actually happens to be the man enough to show up at ACW Evolve 16 and accept the challenge. In the main event, Joe Mundy will be looking for revenge against Andy Faust after a low blow cost him his match at Redemption, and he then saved Riley from a post-match beatdown at Evolve 15. There's a lot going on. ACW are telling some fantastic stories, so let's get down and support our local Grapps and check it out. Come say hi, buy me a beer. You know how it works. I don't think there's beer at the ACW arena, so don't buy me a beer, but have a chat. Up in New South Wales, Wrestling Go present their second birthday party on August 10th and 11th at Marion Community Centre. This huge two-day event sees former ROH champion Dalton Castle grace our shores for a triple threat match against Matty Wahlberg and Tough Stuff Ricky South, as well as a one-on-one encounter with B-Boy, which should be fantastic. Jason Dewhurst and Nikki Van Blair, who were on our show last week, are both in action, and Diego makes his first gold medal defense against Cat Sabre Jr., and much, much more. Tickets are available on Eventbrite or at the door, and they start at $15 for general admission. Also in New South Wales, on August the 11th, obviously, Hunter Valley Wrestling. We just spoke to Tarlee. They present Awakening at Club Maitland City. Tickets start at $15. Alex Titan will defend his HVW championship against Slade Mercer. A huge 6-man ladder match will take place to determine the number one contender. And of course, Tarlee will defend her HVW Women's Championship against Izzy Shaw. Also on Saturday night, PWA presents Call to Arms live at the Max Watts in Moore Park, Sydney. Tickets start at $35. Caveman Ugg challenges Jonah Rock for the PWA heavyweight title in a steel cage match. Will Ospreay vs Robbie Eagles 2, Shazza McKenzie vs Madison Eagles, Four Nations defend their tag titles against the Velocities, and Tough Stuff Ricky South takes on B. Priestley, among many other matches. It's going to be a fantastic show. We did an entire bonus episode dedicated just to this, so if you want to have a listen to everything that's going to be going down at PWA Call to Arms, and hear our very own Big Boy Mikey tell his personal story with PWA, make sure you check out that bonus episode that was posted on Thursday. It's a must-listen if you're heading out to the PWA show. Up in Queensland on Saturday, we have AWA Homecoming 5. It takes place at Kedron Wavell Services Club in Chermside, Queensland. Tickets start at $17, and this one features a 30-man battle royal for the Homecoming Cup. Rufio takes on All Japan Pro Wrestling's Rion Fujiwara. Brandy Alexander takes on Sofia Morales in a tables match. Jackson Cross takes on AJ Istria in a battle of the armbars. And Xander Sullivan has his sights set on gold against the AWA champion Jake Nova. Sullivan says that love will beat fear this time and he will become the AWA champion. For one, I believe him. I'm really rooting for Xander in this one. I'm looking forward to it. AWA are restoring my faith in Queensland wrestling and New Valhalla. I haven't seen the matches yet, but I like the aesthetic, so I have to put that caveat on there because I haven't seen the matches. But AWA are doing a real good job up there in Queensland wrestling. I'd always heard of Queensland wrestling as kind of the butt of the joke in Australian pro wrestling, but AWA look to be putting on really fantastic shows. Everything I've seen from them has been great, and Xander Sullivan cuts a hell of a promo. I'm a big fan. They also have a really nice shirt. I know I shouldn't factor that in, but I do. They've got a really nice shirt for this event. So if you're going down to Homecoming 5, make sure you pick up one of those shirts, because it's going to be a collectible, I reckon. It's got that real old school vibe, that real old school WrestleMania 1-5 vibe, you know, and it has the Homecoming V and it has all the stars and Xander Sullivan on top, which is where I think he's going to come out on top with the gold, and he's on top. AWA are doing a really good job, and, you know, if anyone at the show happens to pick up a shirt that's a size large and wants to send it my way, I definitely wouldn't say no. Meanwhile, in Canberra, ICW Canberra present Insane Rumble at Belconnen Community Centre. Tickets start at $10. Nick Moltino defends his title against Sam Driver and Devious Dave. There's also a boxing match on the card. This one's between Russell the Love Muscle and Russell the Ultimate Muscle. Now, I have no idea what's going on there, but it sounds amazing. So that's a boxing match on a wrestling show, and it's between Russell the Love Muscle and Russell the Ultimate Muscle. Once again, no idea what's going on, but it sounds fantastic. All Action Wrestling over in Western Australia round out the weekend, also on Saturday night, live from the Baldivis Recreation Centre. Tickets start at $15. Felix Young defends his No Limits Championship against Leon Tully. Eric Owens and Deli Dud Singh take on Mike Massive and Jeremiah Kingsley, and much, much more. Make sure you head on down to one of these local shows if you're in the area. Check out some Aussie Grapps, support an Aussie Grappler, buy a shirt, get something signed, have some fun. Cheer the good guys, boo the bad guys. You know how it works. Get involved, support Aussie Grapps, because we love it here. That's what we do. We love Aussie wrestling, and we want to get out there and show them how much we love it. And if you like listening to interviews with Australian talent, make sure you check out On the Turnbuckle, who have an interview this week with Davis Storm. Wrestle Radio Australia are speaking to Adelaide's own Chomp and Katie Trey. If you're a fan of Australian wrestlers, make sure you check out those interviews as well. Share the show with a friend. As always, you can check us out on Facebook, you can check us out on Twitter, you can check us out on Instagram. We are now on Spotify, we are on YouTube, we are everywhere. The B Plus taking over the globe. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and thanks for listening.
Hold one! Arm drag!
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list!
So, no speak English.
Dummy! Goodbye and good night! Hold two! Arm bar!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it! Dummy! Hold three! The moss covered!